How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm ready for another episode of a Girl, a Guy, and a Movie.
So am I.
And there's this movie we just watched,
Mhm.
Catherine Mary Stewart, and I'm I'm very impressed. I like this film. This was worth it.
And you had never seen it before, right?
Yeah, I'd seen the advertisements for it. Never had watched the movie. My mom thought it had too much sexual situations mentioned in the review she read. So Bruce didn't get to watch this when I was a kid. So Bruce, as a 50-year-old man, watched it. I'm like, this is a good 80s movie. Night.
Yeah, it's definitely 80s. You cannot take the 80s out of this movie.
This film is so 80s.
Yeah, it is 80s. 100% 80s. Hair, clothes, it's everything about the way they talk, the music. It's all 80s for sure.
I'm happy that this movie exists the way it does because
Hmm.
if you kids want to see a time capsule of what we had growing up, this movie's it. Uh, this movie is completely it, including a radio station that doesn't play authentic music artists.
Well,
I'm
they couldn't
sorry.
afford it. They
I'm
only had a
sorry,
budget of
Tammy.
700,000.
Sorry, Tammy. You're not Cindy Lauper. I, as soon as that shit started, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
too. I remembered it as soon as that songs came on. It took me out of the movie for a second because I could tell right away who that it wasn't the original singer. And then I went, oh yeah, they had a bad budget,
Yeah.
very low budget.
So
But
this movie is directed by Tom Eberhard.
hmm
Not a bad guy. He did a really cheesy movie called Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Did Without a Clue in '88.
hmm
But there's some movies and stuff he's done throughout. He was still working up until 2008. Now I believe he's retired, sipping margaritas. But he's a very good icon of the mid '80s to the '90s, and he put out some good things. Uh, there's a show called Space Rangers. He did an episode for.
hmm Someone is at the front door. Oops, sorry about that. Someone's at
uh,
the door. Hopefully, my daughter will get it.
I I'm so sorry you have an Alexa. I
Well,
don't
I use it a lot.
I don't need to
I
see
got
how
it
many.
for my door, my front door. So when I'm not available, I can have somebody. It's videoing it and
There's got
keeps
to be a
keeps track
system
of
that's
it.
outside the fucking surveillance of the government. I'm sorry.
Well, just like I told you that I caught that bear on there,
Yeah,
and then I also got that guy that whoever it was that came and took things off my porch, and then I found him in my coop because he slept in my coop. So I wouldn't have known.
true, true. Uh, Tom Eberhard or whatever, however pronounce his name, he done some other things,
Mhm.
but this movie here is probably his most famous movie he did directing, and this is a really good film. It kind of starts with, hey, there's a comet on the way, and so this movie is kind of weird because it borrows a bit for a lot from the Cold War apocalyptic shit that you have in the majority of your '80s films,
Mhm.
and it also has a real good smattering of things going on at the time because about 1984 to '86 there was there was a little bit of a buildup where Matchbox, no, was it Match? It was Hot Wheels
Yeah.
released like a whole series of their classic cars with Haley's Comet paint schemes on them, and Haley's Comet was coming out in '86, and this movie properly capitalized on a little bit of the hype of that,
Mhm.
and also some of the stories of paranoia that came out in 1910, because some people felt that going through the tail of Haley's Comet caused various illnesses and diseases and famines because it
Mhm.
would kill off some plants.
Mhm.
Pretty interesting stuff, not exactly scientific. and we did survive the 1910 era. But it was cute because this
Yeah.
movie borrows from a lot of different things, and it makes this nice little cohesive pro consumerism, pro capitalism Western civilization movie, which a lot of 80s apocalyptic films. And every zombie movie is an apocalyptic movie. They never fix the zombies except in like what was it, the Nick Frost movie where Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's the
That
only
was
one.
comedy.
The zombies don't get fixed. That's the only one where they do get fixed.
Hmm.
But I really do appreciate this movie here for not going down the boring ass zombie film tropes. Because for me, zombie films, 99% of them are shit. Like they're good examples of good ways to do special effects, makeup effects,
Hmm.
squibs. That's it.
Yeah.
That there's nothing else. And I'm going to tell you my bias because it's our show. It's because I got family that's not quote unquote related to me, but
Hmm.
they're family nonetheless, and they've got Alzheimer's all through the bloodline. Like after age 75, just expect to be walking around with them with a notepad and write things down so they can have help remembering stuff. If you're not there, you can leave the notepad there for them. If they remember it, and the notepad works till they're about age 82, and then they forgot your entire name anyway, and they try not to let you in the house. It's really awful. But I hate zombie films.
Hmm.
I like you've got to be a great zombie film for me to appreciate it. Okay, this movie doesn't go down that path. It does have zombies in it or altered humans in it, but it goes down a different path, and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah, I like that part of it. The fact that it almost wiped everyone out. There were just little piles of dust, calcium dust or whatever. Because you remember a lot of things that you learn in high school about science is that we're like 98% water, our bodies. And when that's why when you're cremated, it's just a pile of ash, basically. It just takes all the moisture out of you. And then they crush your, what little bit of bone might be not pulverized to make it more, acceptable to see it. And because if you saw little bits of bone in there, you probably would, it would devastate most people. So, but the thing is, I love that part of it, and the fact that they made it red, and the air, the air in the background, the
Constant
look,
filter.
yeah, it was. I loved all that. I thought it was a very good way to do special effects that were cheap, but you got the gist of it. And I love the fact that they let the actors ad lib a lot and just be themselves. It be young, try to think like teenagers, and how they would look around, and still be a little bit selfish, but yet, wow, what are we gonna do? That attitude, and I really like that. I thought that was very authentic and different than other movies, and the fact that there was only a few zombies in it. Most of the people were uh, changing and had that funny, weird look on their face, and the hollowing of their eyes and things like that. So I like that. I thought that was really good.
I I have no problems with the way this movie was shot, with the way they did the filter for the sky, with how they used basically a free item,
Hmm.
red brick dust, and
Yeah.
like just take off your clothing and leave it here in the street. Tomorrow morning we're going to film this and it'll be done.
Hmm.
That was great. That was, and they didn't leave it overnight in the street because it's L.A. And then they
Yeah.
got the shots. All those shots of LA with no traffic was done in midday between red lights.
Hmm.
So everything was like perfectly set up and they had just the amount of time. They probably had a running tape for like 2 minutes and they're great. We're going to edit everything out for these 30, 20 seconds, whatever it might be. And that way we can show that, get some ADR in there, make it sound silent as hell. That's perfect.
And a couple of things that they did, they were able to use a lot of people, like the police officers on the motorcycles, and they used them in the movie that were actually cops that would help control the traffic during
Yeah.
the filming of it. And so they utilized what they had around them, available to them. And that's what I'm always talking about when I'm saying how when
Be
you got a
inventive.
group of people that want to see it be successful, they take from around them, like taking a cat that they see and just put it in the scene because it's just wandering around anyways. You know, any like we did in that one movie that one of the movies that you picked. And I thought, you know, that kind of stuff is just really, really smart when it comes to saving money, but making it more authentic. I love that. I think it's great.
Hey, Snorta Pupus. I'd like to say hi to some of our more regular people here. We got the Crafting Gamer, Mr. Soybase Jeremy, and
Mhm.
Soybase Jeremy being the first in the chat. Six Nations, 31 Kings. Him and Hardwick just watched the movie with us in Discord.
Mhm.
Flady, longtime viewer, good friend of ours. He's in the chat as well. I hope you're doing well, Flady. As many of us that know your situation want you to persevere and keep pushing. If you need anything, give us a call. Bubble gum, and duct tape. Yeah, use anything you can to keep yourself pushing forward, man. Snortopoopas. How you doing, sir? Dempsey, one of your good fans, he's in here. And I'm going to make a statement here in about 40 minutes. My feed for YouTube will be shutting down. However, I'll get the link in here for the Rumble because I value Rumble because they value free speech and they don't shut you down just for being an asshole. I think that's kind of important. Hold on. Janet,
Mm-hmm.
what else are you doing here in the my Rumble did not start up. I apologize. Go ahead and talk. I've got to do some things.
Okay. Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the use of their the way they use the beginning of the movie to like emphasize how excited everybody was basically in every city, you know, like at New Year's Eve they
Mhm.
have parties and they had people out there, bands out there, they had vendors serving food. It was like a big party and it was around the world basically because everyone was going to get their chance as the comet went around the world, you know, as we were turning, just like, you know, the total eclipse, you know, that type of event. And they were making a big thing out of it because they had years to prepare for it. And you know, everybody was had the scared people. Now that's the one thing, over time, for the years of talking about it, that was one of the things that came up, was that you would have certain people that would be wanting to stay in a bunker or whatever because their fear that it was going to extinct the human race. So having groups like that would have been really cool. But that's basically what they did when they did the people like the one woman that I dressed up as, the scientists that thought they were going to save the planet from extinction by having it prepared, you know, so they could start the human race over again, basically, and repopulate the planet. But an idiot forgot to push the buttons or whatever and make sure that they weren't recirculating the oxygen from outside back inside. So they were all contaminated. So what they decided at the last minute was to find survivors by controlling, listening to the airwaves and stuff to see if they could find enough people to bring in and drain their blood and make a serum for the people that were in the bunker underground. So I thought that was really good because it did show that they were greedy and they were willing to take kids, anyone, and basically, you know, put them in a coma and drain their blood so that they could make some type of serum that might cure their illness, even though they didn't know for sure if it would or not, because they had to have samples from the actual, you know, dead people that died from the comet and maybe from some zombies or whatever. But I like the fact that they still had a scientist that still was thinking about humanity and not taking lives just to prolong theirs, even because they didn't know for sure if it would even work. So, and she wanted to do it before she started changing herself. and to be able to do that, I thought that was a good point of view of that. And I always thought that after I first saw this movie, like I was telling Bruce earlier, that my aunt had this on VHS at her house, and I remember my sisters and I saw it in all the movies that she had, and we were like, "Wow, this is cool! Can we watch this movie?" And she let us watch it, and we had popcorn and everything. It was great. It was a really fun movie, and I really liked it. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. The acting was good, and it was a little campy, but it was a fun movie. The one scene where the two sisters decide to go shopping because the older sister feels bad for her younger sister being depressed, and her allergies are bothering her real bad. One of the symptoms of turning into a zombie before you die and dry up, turn to dust, is itchy skin, and being really thirsty, which is what the sister was having. So they thought that she was exposed. But they get to go to the mall basically and go shopping. And the thought of that and getting to see them trying on all those clothes and jewelry and shoes and hats and playing the boombox really loud and dancing around and having fun going up and down the escalator and the stairs. I just thought that was really cool because to me, honestly, that is what some teenagers would do. And then the guys that came in and tried to attack them, basically because the one guy was changing into a zombie. Now you don't know if the other ones were changing because they didn't look like they were, but they were doing what he told them to, I guess, because he was the boss, and they all worked at the mall because they were stock boys or whatever. But him wanting to torture them and stuff was just showing how his mind was slowly deteriorating, right? So he was becoming sick, and morbid or whatever. So I just thought all that was really cool. That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, was the one of them in the mall dancing and trying on clothes, because that is something I know teenage girls would want to do if they had the freedom of movement. And I love the fact that all the young men that were left alive all wanted cars. They were like scoping out for the best cars they could find and driving them down the roads and the interstates and stuff, because there was no one else on the road and they could drive as fast as they wanted and no one could tell them they couldn't. And I could see all the guys wanting to do that or have guns like they were doing, wanting to shoot and act like they were macho men. I thought all of that was so believable to me when I watched
Very
it.
much so. Um, my Rumble stream, we sat in for like 3 or 4 hours without kicking off Rumble. Apparently, you have to. There's no. I preserve this stream for later on today. I didn't notice that they have that available.
Yeah.
The way you used to do it was you'd set things up on YouTube. It would set up a stream, and then whenever the stream yard would kick off, like everything would already be set, and just press play or press
Hmm.
record, and bam, you're live. Rumble not that way, and I may have lost my Rumble stream for today. No big deal. I did put the X link for our show, and I also got Janet's YouTube link here. If you're already a fan of Janet, go check out her X, because she has a better range on X. She's not suppressed like she is here, and I'm definitely like stepped on over here.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
definitely stepped on here, and yeah,
it is
can
what it
be
is. I
better.
mean,
Yeah,
we
but that's all
didn't.
right.
No, it's not. It's
That
not all.
is because it's not going to make me stop doing what I
But
want to do.
no, it's not making me cease what I'm doing. But at the same time, like the suppression of the people that made the platform what it is,
Hmm.
and trying to make room for CNN, CBS, ABC bullshit, mainstream garbage, CIA propaganda. Um, it's garbage, and Flady, it isn't user friendly as it could be, but it doesn't mean it's hostile to its users, and I think that's kind of
Yeah,
important.
yeah. I haven't had any problems with anything, any of the videos that I
You,
put over
you just
there.
have to kick it off. You have to key it in and kick it off within like 30 minutes or an hour. And I think they even tell you, and I just disregarded that because me and Janet still had the movie to watch.
Hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I really liked everything about it. I mean, except just like you said, I didn't really notice it. It didn't really ruin the movie for me,
Oh no.
but I could understand why they had to do the, secondhand singers simply because this movie only cost $700,000 to make. I mean, that is dirt cheap, even back in 1984. Very, very low budget. But they did a phenomenal job with the small amount of money that they had, with the cosmetics and stuff like that, and the locations that they used and the vehicles they used. They did have some really good explosions at the very end. So they did have pyrotechnics. I mean, they had a lot of stuff in this movie packed in,
Crammed
considering,
in as best
yeah,
they could.
that it was 700,000. I'm still in awe over that. And that just shows you that the people that wanted to make this movie wanted to make it be successful. And if it hadn't gone up against, what was the name of the movie that it went up against? Was it Raiders? Or it was a movie. It came out the week after or 2 weeks after, and it stepped on them because this movie was doing pretty good,
Hmm.
considering
I mean,
how cheap it was.
hold on. It made $14.4 million on a $700,000 budget.
Yeah, that's a
In modern day,
Mhm.
they would have made a trilogy of this film because of the initial success.
Mhm.
Remember that god awful film Cloverfield, which was J.J. Abrams' prequel of
Oh,
what
yeah.
was to come,
Hmm.
and the movie went nowhere. And then there was two other movies in this Cloverfield series that they went nowhere too.
Hmm.
Like the best one of those was the one with John Goodman, but that's
Yeah,
still
the
not.
guy in the bunker.
Yeah, in
That
the
one.
bunker, and that one there is still not good. It's
It was
watchable
okay.
once. You gonna watch it again? No.
Yeah, and the kid at the very end, with the little blonde sister that thought, my sister's always stealing all my boys that I'm interested in, and now there's one decent guy left in the world, and you get him. So I just thought that was funny and adorable because that sounds like two sisters. That's how they would talk to each other, that type of thing.
I'm gonna look up the movies of 1984 real quick.
But yeah, I thought it was in the trivia, so I was trying to find my trivia that I'd pulled up, because there was something in there talking about a movie that opened up right after,
I
and it
mean,
was a huge success, a big
okay,
hit.
84 is one of the best release years for films
Hmm.
in Gen X, Gen Y, Boomers. In our existence, it's probably one of the top three. Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Gremlins, The Karate Kid, Police Academy, Footloose, Romancing the Stone, Star Trek 3, Splash. With those movies right there, if you had those movies on VHS growing up, you had a really good life. You
Hmm.
had one of the best lives growing up because you were happy. That's all there is to it. There was no way for you to not enjoy films. If those were the 10 movies that you had in your head, like for 1984, be the perfect
Hmm.
year. And also, there's other movies that are outside that top 10 list. Me and Janet have reviewed, and we can't fucking get enough of. Janet, how many times have we watched Last Starfighter since we reviewed it?
I think 6 times.
Since we reviewed it, kids.
Yeah, since we reviewed it. It's a great movie.
Hmm.
And I love all these movies. Well, there's been a few that I did say that I don't think I'll watch it again, like Midnight Meat Train. Sorry, but
Did you put that under my nail to irritate?
well, there's just a few that I'm like, it's just not my style. But the thing is, what, it wasn't as terrible as some other movies that I told y'all I'm never gonna watch. Just like you didn't like Bad Girls, that's fine. And you won't have to, I don't expect you to ever watch it again. That's fine. Or Lars and the Real Girl. So, that's boring. If we all had like the same things, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's no fun.
I'm
I want
trying
to
to,
be able to
trying to
enjoy
pull up.
different things that we like you had never seen this movie.
Yeah.
So I like it when one of us hadn't seen a movie.
Well, here's this movie was released in mid-November and it ran for 2 weeks, and then it
Mhm.
got plowed by the number one movie of '84. The number one movie of '84, and I don't know if they measure this by amount of money it did all over its theatrical lifetime in
Mhm.
theaters, or if this is just the last month. I want to say it's this the whole time this movie was released. It brought in $234 million. That's Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay. Yeah. See, I couldn't remember what movie it was. I just remembered there was a movie that came out like 2 weeks later, and it stomped all over it.
And
Because
also,
this one was for teenagers. This was not
yeah,
pushed for mom and dad to go watch with their teenagers. It was for teenage girls and guys to go see.
yeah,
And usually they don't just base movies on that. You know what I mean? They want a family, which mom and dad will enjoy along with the kids. So,
yeah. And Flady's like, yeah, those movies made bank about a year after their release, and they
mhm,
compiled everything together. Yeah, you look at the exterior market, the foreign market for like Ghostbusters or Star Trek 3, and those
mhm,
movies did pretty good outside of the states.
yeah.
Twilight 2000. All right, my polyhedral friends, don't you guys remember that? I remember the shit ton out of that. I never played it more than maybe 4 times, but we couldn't go into a game store without seeing 4 to 7 posters of Twilight 2000 all over the place. That was a huge, hugely marketed game.
I never played it. I never even heard of it, that game.
It's it's okay. It's a relic of its time. The mechanics are kind of clunky, but it's worth playing. Um, slow F's in the chat for Ice Pirates.
I love Dice Pirates, and I had never even seen anything or heard about it. And when you guys kept talking about space herpes and stuff, and I was like, I had no clue what you guys were referring to or anything until I got to see the movie, and it was fun. It was a fun movie too.
It is. It's a fun movie. It's worthwhile. It breaks your heart like Cutthroat Island does,
Mhm.
because both of those movies have so much studio interference. It literally interrupted the productivity of everybody at the set trying to make that a viable film. Both of those movies are crimes against media because they were both stepped on. And were they both MGM? No, Carol Co was Cutthroat Island.
Mhm.
MGM's new head, he fucked up everything. Everything sci-fi that came out at the same time in '84 from MGM. That guy tried mucking up everything, and I don't know if I want to say MGM was not Dune, but there was still studio interference with Dune that year. We talk about that in the Spice Diver rewatch we do, because
Yeah,
Janet and I have watched the Dune movie. I've seen it over 30 times, easy.
I think I've seen it like 20.
That that was our first movie we got on Betamax.
Mhm.
We got a Betamax because of the increased audio quality, and I don't know how Sony did it with a smaller tape and all that, but they were able to make amazing sound, and you could tell because we bought a VHS player in 1990 and we hooked it up through the receiver setup we had. Remember, kids, when your dad would buy a receiver and then he'd buy an equalizer separate? You're, okay. I kind of miss those days. You had to be a real guru, a real tech to do that.
Mhm.
So you had to like that.
Yeah, it was.
Release list and explaining the space herpes. Damn it! Exactly. Uh, yeah, this movie is brilliant in its simplicity. There's a lot of big actors in this as well.
Mhm.
Like, sorry, I was getting ready.
Was this before or after Footloose was came out?
This is after same
Okay,
year, I believe, but
so
it
she
came
was
out.
still big then. That's one reason why they picked her.
Which one? Catherine Mary Stewart?
Yeah, because wasn't she in Footloose? Wasn't she the
She's
main
in. Uh,
girlfriend?
okay, we're gonna go through her early '80s work right now, and you guys are just gonna get a pimple because of all this shit. Um, her first big movie she does is The Apple, where she stars in it. That's a canon film, a canon musical,
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic, I might add.
Hmm.
Then she does a little bit part in the movie Nighthawks, which is on the list with Stallone and Billy D. They're still
Yeah.
alive, I might add. We could have a sequel. Um, she does a few small things on TV, and then she's on an episode of Knight Rider, which was great. And she did the TV movie A Killer in the Family, and then she's in The Last Starfighter as Maggie Gordon.
Yeah.
And later
I
that
think that's
year,
the first time I ever saw her.
I don't believe she's in Footloose. I don't see
Who
her in
was the girlfriend in Footloose? What was that actress? Because that's who I thought I was kept thinking that that's who she was, but maybe I was wrong.
It's okay. I mean, she had the look. She was an it girl for about 15, 18 months.
Well, the girl that played the girlfriend on Footloose was built similar to her, very
Lori
skinny.
Singer,
Yeah, that they're all built like that, like just thin brunettes. It,
blonde,
it seemed like there was a lot of brunettes.
blonde.
She was blonde.
Catherine Mary Stewart and her are both what I would consider blonde.
Oh, she looked like a brunette in this movie.
That's the hairstyle.
Mhm.
It
No,
looks
the
like,
movie we just watched.
yeah.
Her
I'm
hair
just
was
pointing out
brown.
the hairstyle of the '84. This
But
is like
look how similar that they look a lot alike. I mean, they could be sisters almost.
every senior photo from the mid '80s. This is the hairstyle that they wanted to have.
Hmm.
Timothy, is that Tim? Timothy
Hutton.
Hutton, Falcon and Snowman.
Yeah, Timothy Hutton.
He finally grew into his face.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things Bears ever said.
Yeah, I remember it was Daryl Hannah had that big mane of hair too.
Yeah, this she looks a lot like Catherine Mary Stewart.
Mhm.
Good Lord.
That's why I thought they were the same actress. But I didn't really look it up or anything, but I was like, yeah, they sure look like they could be the same person or sisters or whatever. Very similar.
We got a
And they're
question.
both pretty good actresses in both of those movies, I felt.
Yeah, they really did well.
Hmm. But I liked it. I thought this movie had a little of everything, and it had action in it. It had a little bit of horror. It had sadness because when they realized that, everybody's dead basically, and then Hector has to go home and see if his family's, okay. And I remember when I was first watching it, when he went in the house and he heard those noises, that it was going to be his mom, to have to see her that way. And I was glad it was a neighbor kid. It wasn't his mother. That's basically she just turned to dust. Because if I was in that situation, I would want my loved one to not turn to a zombie. You know what I mean? I would
Yeah.
want them to have just turned to dust or not been affected at all. And I like that they made it to where you didn't know for sure whether the younger sister uh, had it or not. You know what I mean? Because you knew. That what was it, Reggie? Is what her nickname. That where she slept because we saw her and her boyfriend were slept inside the booth with the movies were shown at the theater, and he talked about it being in steel walls and all that stuff. So we knew she wasn't a zombie or going to change. But when the sister started scratching and being real thirsty and stuff, we saw some of the other people after the scientists explained what had happened and what the effects were going to be and how long it took and all this kind of stuff. You had that worry. And then even after the scientist that gave her the injection, talking to her, we thought for sure that, maybe she was going to take her out, but she didn't. She just put her to sleep, let her sleep to save her life, basically. She saved her life. And I just thought that was really good. It showed you a hero, basically, a person that did what they could to save a life or two because they thought it was stupid what they were trying to do, kill people just to see if they could, save their own lives, selfishness or whatever. So I really enjoyed that part of it.
Flavy brought up something kind of important. Uh,
Hmm.
the Spice Diver edit, which has been on YouTube for over 9 years, to my knowledge.
Oh, you
They
can just watch
recently,
it on YouTube?
we just watched on YouTube, like
Yeah.
within the last 12 months. They
Mhm.
yanked it, but I found a copy of it over at the Internet Archive. All 3 hours of it is
So
there
why do you think they took it down?
because I don't know, communism. They're like,
Well, that's one of them.
I mean
Things.
that's the one thing that, like, you ask me a question, I'm going to go to my first default answer: communists. But no, they don't like the fact that you like might enjoy something that somebody's not making money on. You're always welcome, lady. Anytime you've got a question about, hey, I'm looking for this lost media, hold on, let me see what I can do for you.
Yeah, that's good.
Um, I want to make just like a quick segment here. We got Sharon Farrell. She plays Doris Belmont.
Hmm.
She plays the cunty mom or stepmom of
Yeah,
Peaky
the
Blinders.
stepmother.
And that, like, I was surprised when she fucking plowed Kelly Maroney. I was not expecting that, and that actually looked like a good hit.
Yeah.
It didn't look fake.
Hmm.
I was really surprised. You
You
also
know what was sad about that is I knew three friends when I was in high school that basically had step parents that treated them that way, slapped them around, pushed them around, bossed them around when their parent wasn't around. And they said, "I can't wait to tell." She goes, "I can't wait to tell Dad." But you tell him, and then he'll buy you something or make her apologize, and she would and say, "I was really sorry, I had a bad day," or whatever excuses, and then it would just happen again the next time. And to me, that was sad that that kind of abuse went on, and it does every day in the United States. So to me, that was even realistic, because I knew people that went through that kind of shit with their step parent, because their kids that they brought into the marriage were the focus. The kids that came along with him were just whatever, and I just thought that was horrible, but that to me was totally believable when they put that in that story, at least to me, when I got
then
to watch it.
we also have another classic B movie actress here,
Hmm.
and that's going to be Mary Warnoff. This is in Here Come the Monsters from '85.
I never
Not
saw that.
not exactly a good film, but it's a film.
Oh my god.
It's an experience. Mary Warnoff, she's in this movie. She's also in Death Race 2000 as
Hmm.
Calamity Jane, which we're going to watch that at some point. Uh, she played Audrey, the scientist that
Hmm.
she tries killing off the younger sister, and it was she does a really good, like, government worker job of being just an ass to the survivors. I thought she did really good with this movie, and she's been all over Hollywood for decades.
Hmm.
I believe she's still with us, but here she is in Eating Raoul. She doesn't even look like the same lady. She can chameleon herself really well, but go for
Yeah.
another still of Here Come the Monsters. We're gonna have to watch that movie at some point.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Neither have I.
Here
And
come the
I'm
monsters.
Eating Raoul is supposed to be good. Uh, Side note: Eating Raoul also has Chatafe or whatever, however you pronounce this guy's name.
Oh, it's got the same actor.
Yeah, same actors in it from
Yeah, I
Voyager.
thought he looked familiar.
What? You didn't know that?
No, no, I didn't realize he was the same guy that was in Star Trek.
Nah. This Red Letter Media cued me in on this. Uh, Everybody ties back to Star Trek. Star Trek has gotten so large, and if we could just tie it off, if we could just cut that umbilical cord and say after Enterprise, there's no more Star Trek, snip, we'd still have a big wealth of actors and such. but
Hmm.
we're gonna have to talk about this at some point, like with all the good Star Trek that came out and all the bad Star Trek that came out. Just he's a hell of an actor. From what I've heard, he's good at conventions too.
Yeah.
He's also in Sci-Fi Essentials Manticore. What do you think the number is on IMDb for this, Janet? What's your bet
For Manticore,
for Manticore?
I've never seen it, so I don't have a clue. A seven? I don't know. I'm guessing.
You're right with a seven,
Oh,
3.7.
3.7. Never heard of it. I have no idea
So
what it is.
anyway, Mary Warnoff and Beltran are both in that movie. She's quite a chameleon, and she also had some really good acting chops. But would recommend if you see her in films. She's also in Babylon 5.
Well,
Right.
I want to say something as it popped in my head while I was thinking about it. But you laughed, so when you laugh when you're watching the movie, and I get to hear you laugh, especially if it's a movie I've seen and you haven't, was the scene where Regina is playing the machine, the electronic machine, pinball machine like thing, a video game machine.
Playing Tempest.
Yeah, and she's playing that game, and she's pissed off when it gets to the end of the thing and sees that DMK is in the slot where her name used to be, and she's pissed off. Now
She's got to
take
clear the
his name
fucking.
off the list,
She's the
right?
only one allowed to be on the high score table, Janet.
I
Do
know.
you
I just
not
thought it was so
understand the
great.
level? Do you not understand the level of obsession that person has? When you go to see the fucking high score table and your name's not there, that means you put in a quarter and you try to get on that fucking high score table. That's exactly
But
what that
what
means.
was so cute was the ending.
Yeah.
When the kid that showed up that thinks her sister's hot is the guy whose initials was in the machine, and his license plate even said it. So I don't know how he got the license plate that said DMK, but I thought that was funny. So I don't know if that guy died or he lived. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he said his name and it was the same. He was a rich brat or whatever.
He didn't have to be rich. He just had to go to a mall after all this shit happens.
Well, you saw his car at the end, right? He had the convertible with his initials on the
Was it
license
his?
plate.
It doesn't. It.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when he said his name?
Yeah, it was his. It was his. Shit.
So he ended up living. And remember, she said, "Die, DMK. You're dead," whatever, and he wasn't. That's what I thought was so adorable at the end. Little things like that is what made this movie so good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was campy and fun. It was a fun movie for teenagers, and you could definitely tell when you watch it. There he is, right there. That it was oriented for teenagers, and I think that's why it made so much money. For being a movie that only cost $700,000 to make. That they put a lot of work into it to attract teenagers, and the thought process that went into writing the script was oriented towards teenagers. And also some of the things that I read, it said that the director encouraged them to improvise, and use their own words, like she did with the guns about Uzis. Their daddy would have got us Uzis, that was something she just made up.
That's
when her gun really did jam. So I thought it was great. And because they both had their own little attitude, but you could tell that they worked well together. Like when they're arguing about her getting the last man, for herself, she's stealing him, and then they laughed. They started laughing, and then they got off of it because they were sisters, and they accepted it. They didn't, they weren't rivals. They were sisters, even though they butted heads. They still worked things out because they had to. They're sisters. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it made sense to me because I had 4 sisters. So, but I loved it. I just loved this movie. I thought it was really, really good. I mean, I don't know why the rating is so low on Rotten Tomatoes, but I thought it was great. I liked it. It's in my top 20 movies.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love horror. And if it's a sci-fi horror, it's even better. You know what I mean? It's got a little of everything in it, and it makes it fun, and it's fun. Believe me, I don't watch very many movies over and over again. They have to have something, they have to have something that makes me want to sit down and watch it again, since I already know what's going to happen. But see, you'll watch it again now simply because you're going to watch see the DMK stuff.
I already know about the DMK
Well,
because
I
we
know,
saw
but
it.
this time you'll know it's coming. And when she says "Die, DMK,"
I
she's so
laughed
excited, pumped
before.
up.
I
You
laughed
know,
before it showed the license plate because as soon as it said Keener, I
yeah,
put it in my head like DMK. Fuck,
yeah,
you
he
know.
lived.
Yeah,
And then he drives off. He lived. See, it wasn't
and
that he was there. He's the
that's
one.
not a bad thing because like it
No.
shows you that like there's going to be video game competitions in the future.
Hmm. And that she's going to have to compete with him. So that was funny. And they're sisters, and now her sister's man is the one that's going to beat her ass at the video games. Because just because everybody else is dead doesn't mean they're going to stop doing fun things. And that's another thing that I liked. The kids didn't take it the same as the grown-ups. We see how the grown-ups were ready to start killing people off just to save themselves. The kids were working together as a team to try to save the two kids, that type of thing. I like that, because if we could start over, and work together to be successful, it doesn't matter that we're all different. That kind of thing. I love that. I thought that was a really good, point of view for the younger people, to the way they were looking at things. But I was expecting, I remember, uh, the military somewhere, to show up. And I don't remember anything about the military at all in this one. I guess that would have been way too expensive for the budget,
I think it would
a
have been.
tank or whatever, or airplanes or anything like that. But I thought one thing was really cool that it popped in my head when I saw the scientist who she was smoking, while she was on the computer trying to look at some stuff, and she's flicking her ashes into this ashtray that had a fan in it. Because my mother had a fan like an ashtray like that. I remember that because my mother smoked. She was always smoking. So
I think the reason why we had this large focus on teenagers in the 1980s is that at the time there was a huge cultural shift towards conservative movement because of Ronald Reagan. And so
mhm,
all these Hollywood directors like immediately grabbed all the young kids they could. John Hughes grabbed his net, Chris Columbus, and they started netting these guys and trying to kind of force like, hey, the young kids, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Because like the last election, uh, Dukakis was voted almost his entire demographic is young people. Mondale had a large young contingent. Like that was the like it was they they didn't win the youth vote until like 2004. Of all things, John fucking Kerry, the who I served in Vietnam. But the 80s directors, part of the cultural shift at the time, they were trying to throw things more and more progressively, and that way you saw more and more teenage movies on
mhm.
the rise. I might be wrong on that. That's just Bruce's personal opinion.
But no, I thought it was really. I just loved it. I thought it was really fun, and everyone I know that I've talked to that's seen the movie felt the same way. They said it was a lot of fun and they liked the movie too. So it wasn't just me, and the fact that it was making money and it made a huge profit for the company that made the movie. It proves that it was good. And if it hadn't been for a few other movies that came out, it probably would have made even more money. But I could see, honestly, I really could see this movie, this storyline made into a TV series right now and put on TV, as long as they kept it authentic 80s, with the clothing and all the stuff and the way that the kids were evolving and how they collect more people. You see what I mean? All
Mhm.
that stuff. I think it would be very successful because everyone likes the 80s. You know what I mean? At least that they all talk about it. Even kids that today, they thought the 80s was cool, you know? So,
Well, we've got some counterculture movements in like music where we're trying to get away from auto tuning. So you have a lot of uh, internet music that's pushed by the fans, grassroots fans. and they're really big on things like no auto tune in any music whatsoever. Like we want to have kids that are talented, we want to have people that've got a voice. That's why you see the rise of little bands like Liliac, which is literally heavy metal Partridge Family.
Hmm.
If you want to see a family group, the oldest daughter's still in the group, even though she's raising a child and not in any videos. She's still doing recording. She's still doing stuff with her
Hmm.
family. But the other four siblings are all part of this band that their dad, a record producer, like, I'm going to Frankenstein the world's greatest rock band whenever they need rock and roll. And that's
Hmm.
exactly what he did. It is at this time. I do apologize. I just put the link in the chat. Go to my ex or go to Janet's show and watch us because I'm going to kill YouTube. I want to show something. Janet, your YouTube might get slammed on this, but
Hopefully it
I've got to
won't.
show this.
Okay.
It's Kelly Maroney. If you want to see Kelly Maroney as I remember her before this movie was exposed to me in full today. So for those of you that are on my channel with YouTube, thank you ever so much. Please follow Janet and me on X. Next time I'll do better and I'll figure out my fucking Rumble and I'll not fuck that up. I promise
Yeah,
you.
if you're on X, just look for Janet from Another Planet. You'll see me. I'm there.
Okay, I'm going to share this. This is how I remember. This is definitely how I remember one of the greatest moments of high school angst. All right, jam that all the way up.
I just want to say that we're not spirit bunnies anymore.
You remember this, Janet?
No,
What?
no, I
Oh
don't
my
remember this.
God!
I don't remember this at all. Wait, is
I
this
always
from
hated
Fast
that
Times?
name. It bugged
Yeah, Fast Times
Okay,
at Ridgemont High.
the heck
yeah.
out of Dina and me. It's just such a put down. Really? We know you've got a lot of spirit, everybody, right? And we're gonna destroy Lincoln next week, all right?
She's so irritating. I can remember now why I didn't
You
like
know,
this part of it.
it takes a lot of courage to get up here and do something that you know people will make fun of.
Oh my God!
But how many friends did you have in high school that had voices like that and that kind of attitude?
I had zero friends in high school that had that voice or attitude because I had two friends in high school.
Oh, well,
That
I'm not saying they had to be your friend, but I mean you remember that person in school,
Yeah,
and
I
I would walk
remember
the other
those.
direction.
I remember those people, and I felt sorry for them, but I knew at some point like they would kind of, for a better lack of better term, they would unfuck themselves, and that was something that like that when I was given that word by R. Lee Ermey in 1990 when we rented the VHS version of Full Metal Jacket. Unfuck was like something that I loved, and my mom hated it. I ate more bars of soap because of that movie. My mom hated that movie.
You had to do that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, my mom would do that. She would
yeah.
make us stick her tongue out and rub a bar of soap on it.
Irish Spring.
And I remember just having my tongue hanging out for a long time trying to get it off. Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the bar of soap taste. I know it very well.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things that I really enjoy. Uh, 80s films when they're
Mhm.
done right. This movie amazingly done right. I can't imagine them trying to make it now. I would
No, I
love
wouldn't
to.
want them to remake the movie, but I think they really, if you had the right people get together with the forethought of doing it 80s, I mean straight 80s and staying in the 80s, they could make a good TV series that I think young people today would just love. I mean, like that girl right there you just saw when she's doing that whole routine before she's gonna do her cheer. That's what you need. You got to have that.
You gotta have that.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Porky's too. That's another movie. Porky's. Remember that one? We had that on the list, right?
My parents bought me Porky's, which I didn't understand. My mom was like all sorts of like Puritan mindset. Can't watch fantasy with blood. Can't watch sci-fi with blood unless it's Dad's Star Trek. Uh, but my mom was all about me getting Porky's. When I was like 14 years old, they went to this place, B&C Television, I believe is what it was. One of the many video stores that decided to kill off their Betamax, and
Yeah.
they come home with like Betamax tapes. And so Dad's Betamax collection is impressive today, but we don't have the original covers, so they're not really worth a whole lot. But that's one of my dad's like guilty pleasure films because, of course, you know who's in it. And we watched that film. I've seen that movie probably about 15, 20 times. I didn't understand it until after I got laid.
Maybe that's why she gave it to you.
I
Maybe
didn't.
help you be
My
prepared.
my mother was petrified of me having kids. My mom was like, until you meet the right girl that God blesses you with, you should never have sex. That was like something she told me when I was like 12, when she
Yeah.
discovered I was masturbating like furiously, and she's like, you've destroyed every pair of underwear you've got. All of them got yellow stains from your semen ejaculation. And my mom would always go into like super scientist mode and give me the proper Latin terminology for ejaculates. It was kind of disgusting,
Mhm.
but you know, she could never say the word come.
Well, the thing is that she understood nature, and she was trying to help you a little bit in her way
Uh,
without having to sit and be the one to explain things to you.
Dad didn't really know how to do it either, so he just kind of gave me this pamphlet from the Baptist church, and it was like how terrible you are for side eyeing a girl's boobs. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of sorry, but no, not at all.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have a brother, so I don't know. I don't know
You
what
were
would
the
have.
middle child.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got to see terrible stuff on top and bottom from my sister's problems, but there were still girls that spent hours in the bathroom. So, and I wasn't one of those people. I
No
just put a
offense,
ball cap
Janet.
on.
I you bits, but like if I would have been a teenager in your vicinity, I wouldn't have dated you. I would have dated the youngest daughter. Not out of the fact of how she looks, but just out of the fact that like the youngest one is always the hoe. that's that's just like and yours
I
may
don't
not
know. I
be.
mean, I wouldn't have thought that.
Everybody and their brother told me I always date the youngest daughter, never date the oldest. The oldest ones like they've got the mindset and they've got like this prim and proper bullshit. By the time you get to like the third or fourth or fifth or sixth daughter, like all of a sudden mom and dad's ability to like corral them and keep them safe is gone. And like they're like out just doing stuff. And
I
that's
remember my mother would go and get T-shirts made when we went on vacation and have our name, our name on the back, and then have our name real small on the pocket, right? And we'd go and we have all of us like that, and they would always say, "Is you guys a softball team or something?" When we all come in and sit down, and my dad would say, "Yes, we are." My mother would go, "No, we are not." This is great. So yeah, it was tough. But yeah, I love this. It's totally 80s. The music, the way they speak, the way they act, the clothing, the bright colors. And I love the fact when they had everything was all hazy and had that orangish reddish hue. And
Mhm.
then you see it rain, you know, and then you watch all the dust getting washed down into the culverts and stuff and the the drainage ditches, and then the leaves are dripping and they're all clean, everything's clean. In a way, it was kind of giving you letting you know that it's, the world is being renewed, because they it was everywhere. It wasn't just in their one town. It was everywhere, the whole world. So I liked it. I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you did, because I heard you laugh a few times and stuff too.
Oh, this
So,
movie's got uh, so much good stuff in it over and over and over again. You you want to not just like see this movie, you want to rewatch it, you want to share it with your friends, you want to share it with your family,
Mhm.
and it's very fun. Do you remember when movies were fun, Janet? God,
They're still fun movies.
me and okay, yeah,
I
there still
went
are
and
fun
saw
movies.
the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and I laughed and I loved it. I thought it was great. And then I just went and saw the the How to Train Your Dragon, and I loved it. It was great, and everybody in the audience, it was mostly young people, really younger than me, kids movie, but I loved it. It was great. It was a fun movie. So they're still making them. It's just that they're just not as many. There's very few. And I haven't gone to see Superman or the Fantastic Four. I haven't gone to see those yet.
I'm not
But
going to see those movies in theaters,
so
and I'm going to
I
be
like the
honest.
theater. Sitting
I,
at
I
the
love theater.
theater
I love going to
watching
see
a movie
theater
is way
movies, but
better.
I don't like supporting the mainstream. And as much as people are like, "Oh, Superman's good," or "Fantastic Four, it's pretty okay," like,
Mhm.
well, I just don't like the fucking studios that release them. I'm okay with shorten them. They suck, and
Mhm.
I don't want them to make any more movies. They've got so much woke bullshit ideology. They have too large of a fucking human resources department to make anything worth a shit.
Yeah.
That no, I don't want you to make movies anymore. I want you to fucking crank out lattes or flip burgers and fries. Fuck you. You're done. And that's it. That I mean, if you want to go pay for it at the dollar cinema or at the fucking matinee or at the fucking super high price prime time, it's up to you. Bruce, I'm not going to be part of the fucking monetary problem where we keep these things alive. No, I want it to choke. I want it to starve. I want it to go away, and that's it. That's all there is to it. I'm perfectly okay supporting Angel Studios. I'm perfectly okay supporting small press, small
Mhm.
media because those you can keep a better handle on. You don't pull in a bunch of fucking communists. But I'm
Yeah.
not about to give any money at all to garbage facilities and garbage companies. And no matter what they do, they could bring in Bruce Campbell, they could have Sam Raimi, and if it's produced and marketed by Disney, it'll
Mhm.
be the first Sam Raimi Bruce Campbell movie I don't go see. I'm fucking done. I want that group to fucking go away. Make be a part of history. But what they've done instead is they've taken a fucking wonderful entity and it's turned into a zombified money grubbing corpse. Like we need more money for this zombie to perpetuate and to
Mhm.
shuffle along and make garbage. And you pay pig, you're gonna pay $35 a month for the premium ultra good fucking Disney Plus app because you're just gonna pay for anything because you're gonna say, well, it's for my kids. You know, how much bullshit can you swallow? Are you really going to endure another 15 fucking bad Star Wars episodes or series just so you can get one half season of Andor that doesn't suck shit? Are you really going to fucking pay for that? What the fuck? When are you
Well,
guys going to
you got to
demand
remember,
you be
they're
good?
that's all they do now. Mostly those big corporations, they have stockholders, and they want money. And most of the people that are in those positions to make those choices don't even watch the movies. You see,
I'm
they don't know
doing my
anything
part
about
to
it. All they
starve.
care about is the money.
I'm
That's
doing
why
my
they're
part
putting
to
money
starve
in.
them. I'm not going to be part of it. I
Mhm.
don't even. All I pay for is the web. That's
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
If I really like something, I'll buy it and put it on my either YouTube or my fucking Amazon account. And both of those are leftist fucking companies I would love to see
Mhm.
choked to death, especially Amazon because they've ruined Lord of the Rings by trying to make their shit canon. Fuck you.
Yeah. But I understand that. I
I'm.
understand
I, I'm.
that.
I think more people need to be recognizing the fact that you're part of the problem when you don't stop and let them know, like, hey, you've got a lot of one-star product lately. Maybe you should get rid of all your fucking blue hairs and bring back people that make good fucking scripts.
Yeah, and they are. They
They're
are.
starting to.
Yeah,
It
they're
only took
starting
them
to.
5 years of
And
bullshit.
Yeah, but the thing is, sometimes we have to go through stuff like this. It's just like you're a toddler and you're growing up, and your parents are there for everything, and you mind when they say no, and all this kind of stuff, and you eat the food that you give it, that you're given from your parents, and then all of a sudden something happens, and you just say, I don't want to eat this, or I don't like this, or no. You start saying no to your parent, and then that's when the dynamic starts changing, because all of a sudden you start saying, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. You start developing your own personality, and you don't need to be with your parents every minute. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So what's happening is you get a different group of people in there, and they see a vision totally different than what the other people might have seen, and they start trying to go a different direction, just like what happened with Bud Light. I bring this up many times. Bud Light decided to go off the rails, and what happened? They got knocked down, and they lost a shit ton of money, and then they fixed it. They got back on the tracks and started going a little straighter.
They rerouted, yeah, but
Yeah, they
Modelo is
rerouted
still
it.
the number one selling beer in America.
But what I'm saying is the direction they were going with it got diverted, because people said, hell, I'm not going to support you. And when you have empty tents and no one buying your product, and everybody else is in other lines, you wake up if you are smart. Now it's taken like Disney and other groups that run certain things, that have taken certain aspects of the comic book movies and things like that in a certain direction, and it's hurt them. It took a while, because you had so many people under the table diverting money into different directions to make it look like they were doing really well when they weren't. Because I had people that were telling me, on the app, it says the theaters sold out. But then they would go to the movie and they said there was nobody there. So somebody was buying whole blocks of tickets to make it look like the movie was doing well when it wasn't, because people weren't actually watching it. And I never went and saw it. Captain Marvel. I never saw it. I never spent one penny at all. And I won't buy any merchandise or anything with that person on it.
That was the line for me.
So,
I've only watched one film of theirs since then. That was Guardians 3. 2/3 of that movie I felt was shit.
The one with the rocket story?
Rocket Story was the only part I gave a fuck about. Everything else in that movie was just
felt the same
absolute
way.
garbage. I've only watched that. I didn't pay for it. I was happy to flaunt the fact that I didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give any more time to them. They've ruined everything they've touched. They've literally Disney'd everything.
Mhm.
And I just don't know why people are still paying for it. Like, you can go
Because
to a pawn
they're
shop.
dying for entertainment.
You can go to a pawn shop and buy all the fucking VHS and DVDs.
Yeah,
and
but see,
Blu-rays.
people are doing it because it's convenient. Okay, it's easy. Just like I said, dating, you just go swipe left, you swipe right, and then you can hook up, do whatever. You can buy pizza, you can buy food, you can get someone to pick you up and take you somewhere. You can do everything on your phone. It's fast right now. So if they want to watch a movie, they sit down on their couch and they put something on. And they just push a couple buttons, go to a different app on their TV, and they watch it. It's not like it used to be, where you had to go to the movie theater and watch it. And see, the movie theaters are now, that's what I told you, when it started being, everybody started streaming, now you're seeing people breaking off and merging with other groups and stuff, trying to figure out what niche they want to be in and how they're going to get it. And the important thing is, by just like you said, if you're on a streaming service, if they offer you a bunch of woke shit, you just go click, turn it off, and go to another one.
Yeah.
That's how we make a difference. But we have to stand up for something. And if you don't want to watch that shit, you shouldn't watch it. Just like I said, I have only gone to see a couple of movies, and that's it. I went and saw Nosferatu, and I went and saw the How to Train My Dragon, and there's one other movie, and that's it. That's the only movies that I've actually paid money to see this year.
I might go see that. I also might go see Ballerina, because I heard it wasn't that
Yeah,
well.
I heard that was good too.
And everybody said to me, they're like, it's the worst part of the movie is the best part of the movie, because it brings you back to the fact Keanu Reeves is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl, as cool as she is, she's not Keanu Reeves.
No.
And that kind of hurts a little bit
Yeah,
because
but
I
they're
would
taking
love.
it to another direction with Keanu Reeves's blessing because he realizes that, he's what, in his 60s, late 60s now. Okay,
Not
well,
late
he knows
60s.
he can't do it forever, but guess what? He might be the next person in the next one with her, but be her boss and be the trainer. I mean, what I'm
I'd be
saying,
okay with it because I really like De Armas. I think she's really a good actress. She was the best part of that James Bond movie.
yeah. Oh, I know what the movie was. It was Thunderbolts. I saw that, but I didn't go to the theater. I watched it on my at home on my TV, and watched it with my daughter. And I laughed a lot. I thought it was really funny. It just broke my heart to see Bucky, not Captain America. This pisses me off every time I see him because it just sucks. But I thought the movie was good overall. The story was good. And Louise Dreyfus, is that her name?
Hmm.
She did a phenomenal job at being a badass asshole. So it was good. But money doesn't go as far as it used to. And when I pay for something, I want entertainment for it, which whatever it is. So I can understand, not wanting to pay for something that basically is not going to entertain you.
It could entertain me, but it also could go against my entire fiber of my being and might go up against my religious beliefs. It might, and I don't really
Well, you
want
shouldn't do it. If
I
it's
don't
against
want to
what
get
you
into
believe,
that.
don't do it. Yeah. And you shouldn't. Should do it. I mean, just like there's a lot of things that I won't go see certain movies with certain actors, even though I've worked with those actors in different things. That doesn't mean I'm going to go pay money to go see them in that movie because I don't
You
like
shouldn't.
what they stand for, and I'm not going to. So, I bless you. I think that's great. I wish more people would stick to their guns and demand what they pay for. You know. But I've seen so many people stand in line, buy something that they wanted so bad, they get it, and then it breaks like the first time they use it, and then they just go buy another one instead of taking it back and saying, "This is a piece of shit. Either give me another one or I want my money back, whatever." But I've seen people do that. Same thing with the restaurant. You go to a restaurant, you're trying, you take your parents or whatever, and the service is shit and the food tastes like crap, but you still pay for it at the end instead of telling them this was the worst. I was so embarrassed. I've been here this many times, and this time I came and it was the shittiest service I've ever had, and the food was terrible. And I bragged and bragged about you, and I'm never coming back to your restaurant. People are afraid to say anything. You know what I mean? So I wish more people would stand up for what they believe in when it comes to their point of view.
I do too. I would love to see people fucking stand up for their dollar.
I mean, Papa Cotton's one of them. I don't always agree with them, and we
No.
butt heads a little bit, but we still talk. We still, DM each other and talk and stuff on X, and I have a lot of respect for him because he's not afraid to say what he thinks, and I wish more people were that way. I really do. That makes me respect you more.
Mhm.
You
I
know?
love Papa Cotton. We don't agree on probably a third of the things,
Mhm.
but the guy is solid.
Yeah, and to me, I can respect that. And guess what? If I needed something and I went and asked him, because I want the truth, I honestly believe he'd be honest with me and tell me what he actually believed, and that's what I'm asking for. See what I mean? That kind of person that I've seen time after time after time not bend or waver simply because the crowd makes you think you better bend a little. I like that. That to me is a person that I respect, because a person that isn't going to waver from their beliefs is someone that I want on my team, if that makes sense. But that's how I feel, and sometimes it gets people that really they don't like me because of it. But oh well, you can't please everyone.
No, and that's certain. He was one of the best critics we've got because he lets us know where we stand, how we
Hmm.
perform when we're shy of entertaining and providing people the information they want. And
Hmm.
he's one of many we've got. But
Yeah.
I really am thankful. Like I don't know if you saw last night, but we had just a really good show with me and playing Six Nations and crafting, and like it was just a fun show. And
Oh, when you after we played the game,
yeah,
that
after we played the
oh,
game,
'cause I was so tired. I hit the sack, man. I stuffed my face and I went to bed. I was exhausted.
I can't imagine Janet being tired.
Yeah, I
It,
was
it
so
does not
tired.
compute. Um, we for those of you guys that you don't have the 6 hours to watch the stream, I get it. Uh, we had a lot of good things to showcase on that show. We had a real good set of combats. Everybody seemed to get along pretty well, except for the fact that my internet we were using Evmux, which is not as good as this in terms of connectivity and stability for people with Android or iPhone architecture. Uh, if you're using either of those, don't use Evmux. But computer wise, like a lot of people were talking about how clean it was and how good it looked, and that's all right. That's kind of what you want. They're getting more and more streamlined. There are fiddly bits if you want to get in the fiddly bits for Evmux, but we didn't have to really do that. The one thing I would like to see is how would I be able to share that and multi-stream it out to Janet's channels and such. But one of our guys, Nerdy Ogre, he took off after a bit, and I'm sorry about that. I wanted him to stay, but he was so pissed, and rightfully so, because it just kept dropping him, and it wouldn't give him the right audio. So no more Evmux. I did a 1 day experiment on that, and then I did research on it this morning when I was getting ready for this before I did dishes, and it just is not a good system yet. It's in process. If you're a PC user, it's great, but a lot of our friends they don't always have like a $2,000 MSI gaming rig. Not that that's like top of the line at all in the least bit. No, it's not. But it's just to give you an idea of where I'm at versus where others are at. Like somebody might have $100 Galaxy Tab. I'm not saying anybody in my group does, but somebody that has one of those, don't use Evmux because the tech isn't there. You're going to be disconnecting all the time and trying to reconnect. Everybody's got a robot voice, etc.
Well,
Janet, so
just like we had a few problems a couple times with this program with me. It just depends
yeah,
on
that last 2 weeks was shit.
what's
for
going
you.
on. You know what I mean? And we can't control that, and that's just something we have to work around. But I love the fact that we have opportunity to use other things in a pinch. It's nice that we don't have just one. You see what I mean? We have multiple that we can jump on that because it's free and we can use their service and see if we like it or not, but we're not having to pay for something to do something. And if it has a few glitches, I can handle that. I don't get so upset about it, especially since it's got their logo on it. You're using their product, but they're not price gouging you. And yeah, it might have a few glitches, but we just have to work around it.
So if you guys still see us, give us a thumbs up, a like. Janet is on YouTube. My
And
YouTube, I'm going to slowly kill my YouTube off. I'm okay with that, even if it means that sometimes I fuck up and I don't do Rumble right. I still have X to stream to, and I'm okay with this. Next week, before we go into the final dissertation, while we're going into this, give your score for Night of the Comet in the chat. I'll have Janet read that off, and I'm going to show you guys the trailer for next week's show.
Because I don't remember what it is. I totally forgot.
Oh, boy.
Dark Stars. Yeah, this is something I haven't seen before. I have no idea. No idea.
It is the future. Mankind has conquered the stars. He moves out to the endless interstellar reaches of the universe. An advanced exploration corps, a new breed of pioneer, must seek out unstable planets and destroy them.
Oh, my God. Oh. It looks like a bunch of fucking college students trying to do film school.
Yeah, look. Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of looks like, like the first few episodes of Star Trek.
It's
yeah,
Dan O'Bannon is a acting maestro in this movie. He really is a good actor, I think, but he's a better script writer, and he wrote scripts and did so much good work over the years. And God bless him. God rest his soul. He was so good to us.
Drive sequence begun. Hit it, Pinback.
And you are on the mission of the 21st Century Planet Smashers. Dark Star.
Whose voice is that?
20 years in space, 1 million light years from Earth. Their job is to clear a path for the colonization of space.
I don't know whose voice that is. If you
But
guys
it
know it,
sounds
throw it in the
familiar to
chat.
me. If anyone knows it, please put it in the chat because he sounds so familiar.
Back home in Malibu. I used to surf a lot, Talby. I used to be a great surfer.
Travel in an infinite universe with mind-melting excitement from beyond the stars.
Computer to bomb number 20. Return to the bomb bay immediately.
But I have received the operational signal.
Oh my God.
Hello, Bob? Are you with me?
I wish I had more time
Why don't you have more time?
because I must detonate.
What? What is this?
Commander Powell. Commander Powell, this is Doolittle. Can you hear me?
Man, what happened, man?
Hey, Bob.
Confirm. Power drive signal back, man. Roger retracted. Lock all defensive systems.
Dark Star. They're not lost in space. They're loose.
They're loose in space.
Oh, Janet.
Kidding. Is it a movie or a TV series?
It is a movie. It is the first movie that John Carpenter directed.
Holy crap. I can see why I haven't seen it. I just by seeing that, that's why I haven't watched it. Because there was no one ever told me, hey, you gotta watch this, but you are gonna make me watch it. So I guess
I'm definitely gonna make you watch this shit because
oh my God.
I've never seen it all the way through.
You haven't? Why?
I have not seen it all the way through.
Asleep?
I was a young kid and I remember falling asleep in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For those of you that are wondering,
Hey.
I was showing off some
Watch it.
Quake. The earlier
Jesus.
video game footage was Quake Arcane Dimensions, a free mod you can get off ModDB or other mod sites. Quake Arcane Dimensions. If you know, you know. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that movie is a treasure from the 70s. It gave us Dan O'Bannon, it gave us John Carpenter, and it'll give us about 90 minutes of laughter.
Yeah,
That's why
I'm
we're
definitely
gonna
gonna
watch it.
laugh some. Definitely gonna have to turn my mic off because I will be laughing and probably gasping a lot.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
But yeah, what I was gonna say, just from the trailer, the model looked really cool.
Mhm.
Okay, and the inside of the ship and the astronaut uniforms they were wearing in the ship looked very good. I mean, it looked like they spent time and effort on it, but it's the CGI that's really bad.
That's not CGI, sweetheart.
Well, whatever it is that they did, it's terrible.
I mean, I'll shut up. Next week we've got a treat for you guys. We're reviewing Dark Star.
Oh my God.
I'm
And
looking forward
remember
to
to tell them that if they want to come to Discord and watch it with us, that
it. You
they're
want to come?
they
Come
can
to Discord.
and watch this movie with us, and you can laugh along with us because I haven't seen it. I've never seen it before, so I know I'm
I've
gonna.
only seen the first half of it. I was like a 6-year-old kid, and my dad's like,
I've
"Hey,
never heard of it.
John
A
Carpenter."
lifetime.
Oh,
No, oh my goodness, it's funny.
The next two movies we're watching is we're going to watch Dark Star, and then after that we're going to watch Gargoyles from the 70s.
It sounds
72.
familiar.
That's a Stan Winston early project.
Mhm.
And yeah, we've watched some movies of yours here lately. Now we're going to go into the sci-fi happiness for Bruce because Bruce loves sci-fi and his fucking miniatures. I got to say, I love the miniatures in this show. They showed the force perspective and miniatures were mainly used. If you noticed it, on the think tank base, and
Mhm.
I really thought that they did a good job with that. This movie is a good example of how to do things on a shoestring budget, and boy, is it ever a shoestring budget. $700,000 turned into $14.4 million, not including their budget for advertising, which was really small back then. They didn't advertise this a whole lot, and there was a lot of stuff coming out. It would have gotten swallowed if it had even made a real commercial. But this movie, Janet, what is your rating for it?
Well, I thought it was a kind of creepy, fun, action packed. This movie, I definitely liked it. It was, if you have to have a sense of humor though to watch it, I think. But I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was well. The settings, the clothing, everything that had to do with getting the actors ready for certain parts and things like that. I thought that was great. The special effects when it came to the makeup on the zombies, I thought they did really good because most of them were transitioning. They weren't full out zombies. I think there was only the one that killed her lover. When he went out the door and hit him over the head with a wrench. I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it, and so I'm going to give it I guess I would give it an 8 out of 10 stars for sure. Just because of certain things with the music and a few other little details. Besides that, I'd definitely recommend. Teenagers definitely still, I think, get a kick out of it, and if you love the 80s, this is definitely a movie for you because this is totally 80s.
Yeah.
Everything about it is 80s. So,
Um, I just went into your chat on YouTube. Apparently, it doesn't really port the chat over from yours to mine so well. But
mhm,
Poopus, Jackie Blue, everybody over there, thank you so much for being part of today's show.
mhm.
Hardwick says the Brad Pitt film F1 is very good. We should go see that. And
Yeah, I heard that too.
Baby girl, we love you so much. You are there every week, throwing it in our comment section that you appreciate us. And really, like, if you ever do content, we're going to scratch your back on that. We'll watch it, give you views, give you shout outs, and throw your links in our social media. We'll do our best to make sure that you get broadcast if you ever decide to be a quote unquote a creator. But I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody that comes week after week and supports us on a daily basis, or even stops in to say hi to us while we're playing our games. That's a dedicated person. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because my own sisters, I don't even see them as much.
Oh.
They come in once in a while and every so often or whatever. But oh my God, what is this?
Sir Stephen KJ on X says, I will be telling my future children that this was John Bolton on the weekends. When he detached his mustache and he would head out. Yeah. John Bolton is out there freaking out. Everything you need to know about John Bolton right now is going on. He's freaking out about Tulsi Gabbard, and he's screaming that everything she says is a lie. So
Oh my God.
I
That
hope you
outfit.
understand this is where we're at politically.
Mhm.
And I don't have a high regard for John Bolton, nor ever have I had a high regard for John Bolton.
Mhm.
Waiting for that moment when him and Graham get together. We are looking at a movie that I can't complain about. This movie ranks a solid 82 out of 100 for me.
Mhm.
I thought about it and thought about it. I wouldn't give it an 84 because that's really close to 8.5 stars out of 10. But I would
Mhm.
give it definitely. It's more than an 8 for me. It's definitely an 8.2. Going to give some real props out to the final 30 seconds when DMK makes his entrance and you realize that there will be fights in the future. There will be competitions in the future. The geeks have ruled the earth, and they will make sure that they have Tempest, and maybe at some point they'll have dance offs. But who
Mhm.
knows what's going to happen with this select group of 5 people making children for the earth in years to come. Can you
Well, I'm
imagine?
sure there was more.
I mean, yeah, there is, but I mean, can you imagine Catherine Mary Stewart if she would have had like 9 or 10 or 12 kids?
Yeah, she would have been normal sized.
Really? You think?
Yeah, I don't think she would gain a lot of weight. She's
No, she
doesn't
wouldn't.
look like someone who's gonna get, really big or anything.
She does have good genetics. I'm being just a poor man. Um,
But
every lady I remember from church that had over 6 kids,
mm,
they literally like just gave up. The bloomers come out, the moo come out, and that's all they wore the rest of their lives. That was it. And I don't know if it was just laziness
well,
on
I
their
wear
part.
big baggy t-shirts, so that's about the same as a moo.
No, it's not.
It's real long.
It's not. There's
So,
a huge difference.
well,
Your level of activity, the fact that you're still at the gym 4 times a week,
yeah.
the fact that you've got 30-year-old men chasing after you. Uh, you've had a 27-year-old in your DMs before, screaming that he wanted you as his mommy. I mean, this there's a definite difference, Janet.
Well, I'm just saying, I
You
can understand why some people do that. It's just, just not their thing. They're just not into it. Not everybody does it. I mean, out of my sisters, 2 of my sisters, I got to join the gym years ago. They don't go, and so I don't know why they pay monthly for something you never use. That's to me is worse than not going
That's
to the
just what
gym.
you do, though. You get a gym membership, so you can wonder why you're paying for it year after year after year.
Well, I get my money's worth. I mean, I signed up to get one of the car wash deals. It's called Splash Car Wash,
Mhm.
and you can go drive through, and it does all the stuff, and then you got a vacuum cleaner and all that stuff when you're done. And it's like $20 a month, something like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to go 4 days a week just to make sure I get my money's worth. Because if you go to a gas station and they have one, it costs you like $8 to $12
Yep.
just to do it one time. So I get my money's worth. When I first started going, I after the 5th or 6th time I went, they stopped giving me their little thing to hang on my mirror, the air freshener, because I guess they go, wow, this lady knows she's getting her money's worth. So they just wave me through now. They don't even.
I need to get some body
When I
work
got my
done.
new truck, I'm gonna take care
My
of it.
little car's got those scratches from the brushes from the $20 car wash. My ass end, my trunk has got little marks where the protectant, the sealant, is coming off, and so it's getting into it.
Well, that was one thing I tell people ever since I got my soul. When I bought my soul, which I absolutely loved. When I bought it, I bought a pin. It's a little pin that matches whatever your paint is. So if you see a little nick or a scratch, you just touch it up. And I keep it in the glove box. So I recommend anyone who buys a vehicle, if it's used or new, it doesn't matter. If it looks really good, order a pin from the dealership that matches your paint, and you can touch it up and it'll keep your vehicle looking nice a lot longer. But do we have anyone in the chat that needs me to read their totals or not?
Let me go over there. I don't see any ratings. I see people enjoyed this movie, but I don't see any actual ratings on
I
Gen.
see one, but it's on X. It says it's Six Nations, and because remember on my thing, I can only see what's on my YouTube. But it says on your chat here, it says my score is a 70 out of 100.
Oh,
It's a
badass.
campy 80s low budget horror comedy that hits its mark and surprises you with the quality that they came out with. And that is definitely true. It says usually the quality suffers with the budget. Night of the Comet delivers. And it does.
And you
It
said
does.
7 out of 8 or
He
7
said
out of 10?
70 out of 100.
Okay, because on your YouTube, he types my score is 80 out of 100, posted on Bruce's X on Y, also
Mhm.
fudged up. Hey, Shadow and Sun, how you doing? Sort of Poopus says hello. Thank
Yeah.
you for posting that. I'm not receiving any texts on here for some odd reason.
Well, I
It's
can read it. Someone, Shadow
Yeah.
and Sun just came in and said, howdy, hello.
sure.
So that's good. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. This is definitely a movie I recommend if you have teenagers around that kind of like and talk about 80s stuff, whatever it is, from TV. Uh, you remember, what was it? There was a show, it was a big hit. It was that 70s show. That was a
Mhm.
big hit. And then you had the one with the nerds, The Big Bang Theory.
I
So
tried to
you
forget that one.
can get young people to like stuff like that. And I really think, oh man, I wish I was a new people so I could say, hey, let's write a series,
I
a
wanted
TV
to like.
series about this movie, because I think it'd be a huge hit. And have all young cast, maybe one or two people that are older that lived, because most of the old people were out watching the Comet and then they all fried, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So the young ones that had jobs or they just weren't interested or whatever and happened to be in a steel building survived. And I think bringing in the new characters, depending on whether they're changing or dying off or, whatever else, would be really cool. But you could also, after the first 4 or 5 episodes, everybody's dead, because it was progressing, like she said. So you would all have just all new people that find out, well, we're not going to have any, the energy is going to go off, or the water supplies, there'd be so many different things that they could have going on all the time, and have a bunch of young 80s teenagers try to figure out how to fix it. I think it'd be funny and entertaining if you get the right people, to write the stories and to direct it and get some good actors, young up and coming teenage actors that know how to act.
We could have Lisa Welchel reprise her role of Facts of Life as Blair, and she's going around all the malls like, I'm going to get all the good clothes. She's like 70 years old. I
Yeah,
mean, she's not
there's
70
so
in
much
real
stuff
life.
you could do, because you could actually have action in it, you could have comedy in it, and you could have, just a multitude of things all going on at one time with a good variety of characters. And I think it would be very one of my favorite episodes, though, of the Big Bang Theory is when they were on their way to that convention
Mhm.
with their costumes on and stuff, and their car breaks down and they're on the side of the road, and then having to walk miles and miles dressed up with the really cool costumes on, and they end up stopping at a diner. It's just freaking as hilarious as all get out.
I
And I just really think that something like this could be really really good if somebody's got the means to be able to see it come to fruition. That would be awesome.
Well, we're gonna watch Dark Star next week,
Oh my God, hope I can be prepared for that.
and I want to do what was the other film I was talking about? Okay. Anyway, Dark Stars next week. I'll figure out what we're doing in 2 weeks from now, and we've got a list of stuff. If you have any comments, questions, if you want to discuss things, go ahead, throw it in the comments section. Janet, you have any comments from your last few weeks or your last month that you want to address real quick? I already talked to Baby Girl and thanked her for her.
Yeah, I appreciate all my. I'm always putting little posts and stuff on my posting area now that they have a community section. And I was just gonna let people know I've been trying to make sure I put memes and other different things, pictures, different things on there, and that you can comment from what I think. I think that I'm on the channel, so I'm gonna be able to do it. But I think it says that you and your subscribers can post on there. So anybody that's subscribed to me, go to my post in my community section and see if you can put something on there and say
Please.
hi to people or whatever, and see what happens, because that's what I thought it said. I was trying to figure it out, but I don't know. But there looks like there's trying to make little changes here and there on there, so to compete, I guess, with Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Because when they started doing the shorts, that's the only reason I even went to YouTube. It's because I was already on TikTok. And now you got all Alpha Warrior and a bunch of other people that are on X that are big, that are now on TikTok and trying to grow up their stuff over there. So, I think it's great.
Chris on X says
Everybody
that
should
the
use it.
car
Oh.
gets stolen, not broken down. They're on your.
Oh, it got stolen. What? That's right. They pulled over to take pictures in front of these rocks, and then their car got stolen by somebody. I guess that's what it was. But whatever the reason was, I just remember it was so funny watching them sweating like pigs, and their makeup's getting all messed up, and their costumes are getting all dirty and ripped, and whatever else. It was hilarious, and this the way people reacted to them. Because I remember when I went to this last convention, when I got to meet Christopher Lloyd and William Shatner to sign my Federation of Planets manual. I know that sounds really stupid to some people that aren't nerds, but I was dressed as a blue Andorian. So I had my Star Trek uniform on and all that. And I was so proud to be there. It was awesome. And people were getting their picture taken with me and stuff. It was so much fun. And then William Shatner said, "Wow, you went all out." And I was like, "Yeah, I did." Yeah, so it just was great. It was awesome. But walking, because you had to park like 6 blocks away, to get the little parking lots where you put the money in. And my daughter was dressed up. I think she was dressed up as magenta because I had that costume and she thought it was cool. So she went with me and we're walking and people are like looking like, what the fuck is that shit? You know what I mean? They had that look on their face like we were frightening or something, but it was fun. And, and I just get that. And then the next night we went to a Rocky Horror Picture Show and I made a video and posted that on my YouTube of me dressed as magenta. That night because I got to wear my costume, but I love it. I just love doing it, and I don't care if people laugh. But sometimes people might look at us like, you guys are freaks or whatever. But hey, it's a one-time thing. You get to live one life. You get this one chance to enjoy what's out here. And if it's something you like to do, you should go do it. As long as it's not against the law, I don't have a problem with it. I think you should be yourself. And if I see someone dressed in a costume, I try to interact to get my picture taken with them and stuff. 'Cause I think it's fun and I enjoy doing it. That's all I wanted to add because you said for me to talk about something, so I did.
Fair enough. I just I want to give you guys just a quick. I want you to treat every firearm like it's a loaded P320.
Mm-hmm.
Will it go off again? Will it release? Let's see.
Yeah.
He just barely touched the gun and it went off?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah. So if you are a cigger, I want you to keep away from me. We have no room for ciggers in my life. Dirty ciggers are untrustworthy. My relationship with Sig ends. It never started. I never bought a Sig.
What's a SIG?
It's a fucking type of pistol.
Oh, that one he was holding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. Yeah, I just can't imagine that they're.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Because of all this, like I believe. I believe what happened is the Army recently ended their contract, or they've stopped letting, or they put out a letter saying don't be carrying this pistol.
Mm-hmm.
The 320.
Well, you drop that. You could drop that. It could be in your nightstand, and your kid gets it and drops it on the ground and shoots themselves.
The 320 is as trustworthy as a high point at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And just I don't have here. I think my dad has a high point, only for the fact that that's his gun he uses to bludgeon you with if none of the other guns shoot right.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But I mean the P320 has had this problem for months, and it's gone from being a meme to okay, well, the military's telling its troops not to fucking carry it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good when the Army makes it paperwork. All loaded firearms, treat them like a loaded P320. Be careful. Love your kids. Janet, we're going to exit stage left now. So if you would like to give one final goodbye, I will shut this down.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for supporting us. I really appreciate it. And if you want to watch the movie with us, the movie that Bruce has chosen for next week, just send us a DM on X or my Discord or on Rumble or whatever, where you're at. And come join us and watch the movie. We have a few that like to sit and watch the movie with us, and it's always funny. And sometimes we sit and talk about it afterward. So if you want to hang out, we're inviting you. Just have to let us know. And if you can, I would love it if you come to hang out on Friday night for the Friday Night Shit Show. I thought last Friday was really, really good, very entertaining, because it doesn't matter who's president or who's your governor or anything, because there's always going to be tons of shit that we can talk about on Friday night. So just letting you know. Thanks.
If you're not already a part of the chat, there is a place where you can find Janet's Discord, and I'm going to post that in her YouTube right now. And no, not a problem. You're always welcoming. You've got a good community of people there. They police themselves, which I'm very impressed with. They do a really good job.
Pretty good. They're pretty nice, and they're very kind to each other. So that's good. I never did get all the bots like we used to get. Remember when we first started? We always had all these bots that would attack us.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that in my chat yet.
I think it's because I have a penis. I think they know like, at some point you're going to go hunt for porn.
Well, nowadays I don't even know if you're a girl, if you got a penis or not. I've heard that there's a couple of very popular, pretty girls that do have penises on YouTube. So
I don't know. I want to be hidden from that. I don't want to be anywhere near that. That's like a human pothole that will wreck your transmission. It'll wreck your engine. It'll wreck your finances. Stay away from that.
They already have a stick shift.
Yeah, they already got a stick shift. You don't need that.
That's terrible.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bruce. My friend is Janet. Come visit us. Come talk to us. Beware. We're watching Dark Star next week.
Yep.
And we look forward to seeing you there with us. God bless.